Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us for a look at design automation for Revit. My name is Mike Engel. I am recently joined to Autodesk as a product manager working with Revit data workflows. This is after 15 years practicing architecture in the industry. Prior to joining Autodesk, I held a unique role, splitting my time as a project lead and designer along with the design technology director. My focus was in both project design and developing and transitioning our traditional workflows to a data-centered design approach. This approach allowed me to keep current and in tune with the day-to-day needs of design teams while supporting growth across the practice. This is a balanced approach I continue to work on today. If you think back a year ago at AU 2019, Autodesk announced the release of a design automation for Revit, often referred to as headless Revit or Revit in the cloud. It was released with some general idea of what we thought you would use it for, along with a great anticipation of what you, the customers, could accomplish leveraging headless Revit. While this was just the first year of a public availability of Revit design automation, Autodesk and our customers are already leveraging the value available in the platform. Revit design automation in the past year has grown tremendously. If we look back at AU 2019 at the initial launch, in the first month, we had 8,000 successful runs to kick it off. Only a year later, in August of this year, we have 35,000 successful runs in a single month. That's a 300% growth over less than a year's time. It's amazing what you guys are doing with Revit design automation. And we look forward to seeing the next year what AU 2021, when we revisit this conversation, has in store. Our customers are excited about design automation, what it opens up, and what availabilities the new options exist for software as a service products and various business models. Today, let's think about 3 different ways that customers are using design automation. Accessing data and connecting to data. As data becomes more central in how we collaborate and share around design solutions, being able to connect and view that data is critical to working efficiently and effectively. Thinking about design automation as a partner in design. Computations during the design process can be complex and resource intensive. Being able to offload these tasks to a cloud service versus running them locally creates greater efficiency and availability for your local machines. We can also rethink how designers create. VR and AR, as many are aware, is a widely adopted tool in the AEC industry today, often used just to view the model. But with cloud automation, we can take that to another level and utilize it to author and collaborate on design decisions and impact directly the designs in the virtual environment. If we take a look at these, we can start with one example of Format that many of you may be aware of. Format is a cloud and desktop platform that Autodesk has developed, and integrated into it is energy analysis and Insight 360. But what you may not know is that Autodesk today is already using Revit design automation to offload the calculations and processing for these energy analysis calculations, taking the in-depth calculations from your local machines and allowing that to happen on the cloud and translate to the data needed for the calculations that may or may not be available directly in the platform.
We also have many partners using design automation for Revit, one of which is ID8 software. They are developing tools, starting to think about complex tasks and understanding the health of models, and really helping bring that information out of the Revit models to a usable and informative location in the BIM 360 environment. We'll let David Haynes here from ID8 give you a brief overview of what that looks like.
ID8 software using Forge technology has released ID8 Dashboard for Autodesk BIM 360. The ID8 Dashboard is a cloud-based service that provides just-in-time information about Revit warnings within the BIM 360 environment. ID8 Dashboard is for BIM managers, BIM team leads, and users who fix Revit warnings. The dashboard provides relevant, curated data that is actionable. Easier than opening each project in Revit and then fixing it. It provides you one location to review Revit warnings in the BIM 360 homepage, which provides you quicker access to Revit warning information for BIM 360 projects, therefore less downtime. We use the project homepage, and through the card library on our branded card, we create a new card. We configure it by simply giving it a title and providing the URL that we give you. Then we configure that URL with a unique ID that fits that card. Then we select our BIM 360 project and the file we look to do. And this is one of our cards called a stoplight, which gives you red, yellow, and green warning type and gives you other relevant information. We can also create other cards, such as a warnings count per megabyte. Again, we use the same process. We configure it in the same way. And then after we've configured it, it gives us a count metric based upon warnings per megabyte. And we can choose our different top-level folders to review. Additionally, we can also create a other card, which is just straight warnings per count. And this warnings per count is done in the same way by configuration, using the URL as required. And we get, again, top-level folders or the entire project we can look at. And it gives us straight warnings count. This gives us our 3 data visualizations. Additionally, we can create an aggregator project that allows us to look at our entire BIM 360 portfolio in the same way. Thank you, and check us out at ID8software.com, ID8 Dashboard BIM 360.
So with that, we all love talking about data, and as David points out, it's extremely valuable to get that information to our customers and the users of the Revit in an informative way. But using design automation is more than just consuming data and moving data so we can visualize it. Design automation for Revit also has allowed us to open new doors and start rethinking about how designers create, how designers interop, and how our teams work between design and Revit production models. The team at Archaeo is doing just that. They're looking at VR in a whole new way. It's not just a visualization tool, but it's an interactive tool that allows it to become part of the design and collaboration process.
Archaeo is a new collaborative design tool that allows designers to work together virtually. Creating and adjusting shapes in VR is fast and simple, almost like physical model making. Using Revit's design automation on Forge, users can import models from BIM 360 directly. Here we're placing a Revit model in the scene using Revit's north coordinates. You can sketch and explore new design options on top of the model that can later be exported back to Revit as native Revit geometry. In Archaeo, you can work at any scale and move things around, almost like having design superpowers. Users on phones, tablets, and desktop PCs can also join Archaeo sessions. Here we can see in real time all changes being made to the model. Archaeo is a volumetric modeler that displays area sizes as we assign program labels to buildings or individual floors. Sizes get updated as the building is adjusted, and we can even sketch design suggestions directly on the iPad. Or we can move things around for the VR users to see. You can jump to human scale in VR at any time to experience the design and make new adjustments. And you can model interiors while standing inside the building to directly see the effects it has on the space. You can study how that design will feel at different times of the day. And when you are happy with the project, you can export the work back to Revit. Using design automation for Revit, the Archaeo model will be converted to native Revit geometry in the cloud. This model can be accessed on BIM 360, or it can be downloaded and linked into a work sharing file to continue working in Revit. You can learn more about Archaeo and join the beta at archaeo.is.
So as you can see, regardless of the opportunities and the ways you choose to leverage design automation for Revit, you can start to see that it's a wide net that you can cast and begin leveraging. That it's not just replicating the work that we already do in Revit, but really starting to rethink about things like how can we partner our design tools and offload complex calculations for energy models? How can we use it to extract and visualize data that exists within our Revit models and sources? And even to the point of thinking about how can we leverage the technologies in VR to redefine the design process in itself and connecting with the BIM environment. It's exciting to think about these three tools in the last year as they've developed. And it's also exciting to think about what the future holds for many of you as you dive into leveraging design automation. So I want to thank each of you for listening to this, and particularly thank you to Archaeo and ID8 for sharing the work they are developing, and look forward to hearing from many of you in the future.